WTV, we believe business is the engine for sustainable economic development. We normally talk of the what. I want to focus on the how, and then I will invite the guests step by step. They will share what they have, and then we'll get into a panel discussion where you will ask straight questions. So how do you begin to spot that particular untapped business opportunity? Number one, it's important for you to have a global perspective. Global perspective, very important. If you're still thinking Nairobi or Kenya, you'll be shocked in the next 10 years when things absolutely move and change. Uber comes in and boom, our taxi guys are in problems. But you can begin to look at Kenya and say, I will put Kenya at the very center of the globe. That's the international world. And then begin to see what's happening in Germany, what's happening in Switzerland, what's happening in China, and begin to see how you can link up what is already being done there and bring it back to Kenya, and it will actually be business for you. Number two, very quickly. And this is more of a personal one. I think adversity has a way of creating a way for you to begin to see untapped opportunities. When you have a job and then you lose it, that's when you'll realize there are actually untapped opportunities around you, business opportunities. They say, if your income is dependent on your presence, then your income is unsustainable. If you get an accident and you cannot make it to work, no income comes to you. A boss will just tell you, well, we'll give you this number of weeks, but at a particular point they'll say, well, we are in business. That's the reality. It's business. But at that particular moment, and I know of a singer, an amazing singer, who decided to, for once, decided to board a matatu, and that's the day the matatu had an accident, broke one of his limbs. Couldn't move for a whole year, and he had to depend on his wife. Devastating moments. You have the voice, you can do it, but at that moment you can't. That's when you begin to see untapped opportunities. I want to call one lady who shared with me her story. Touched my heart. In fact, my question for her was, when things are working out for you, what are the things that you need to put in place so that in case you lose out on your wealth and opportunities, you're able to still survive? That was my question, and she shared. Before 2007, this lady was in big business, doing her stuff, earning money together with her husband, and everything was clean. Then 2007, 2008, post-election violence hits home and they lose everything. They have to start again. They have to start again. A setback can take you 10 years behind. You can lose a loved one. You can decide to stay there for 6 years mourning, or you can say, you know what, it has happened. I still have to move on. And you'll begin to see the untapped opportunities. It is hard, but you still have to move on. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for this business lady and MC, Madam Penny Gate. She'll share for about 3 to 5 minutes her story.
Our background is hospitality industry. I worked for 10 years plus, but it reached somewhere I decided to resign and do my own things. And I started importing clothes from Turkey, Dubai. I know you know those ladies. But it reached a time I went through fire when Ushindi Expo got burnt down. But I decided to restart all over again. And I went on, I paid all the loans I had with Equity and all the other banks. And I still went on and started again afresh. But as I was picking up, as I was at the climax, then another big fire came. I was affected by the post-elections. We were living at Olympic at Kibera, and when our former president was declared, our place was torched. And let me tell you, things changed. Our lives changed to the worst because we lost everything. My husband lost two of his businesses at the same time. And I want to tell you, life was never the same again. We went down until we could never go down anymore. We hit the ground with a bang. And this is the time I could not be able to travel anymore. I could never board those planes. I could not even go to Uganda because things had changed. My shop, we ate it and it got finished until I tried Wines and Spirit in Githurai, but I went back to the house because we could not break even. All this time I was scared because my husband lost two of his businesses. I was wondering, if he doesn't come out of the house, do I have the courage to tell him to go out? Where? And he doesn't have a business. All this time I was just praying, God, let him go out. Where? But I don't know. Any moment he could step out, I could tell God, thank you. I didn't know where he was going. So he started another business in another gentleman. They partnered, a club along Thika Road. And when they had just finished, then Thika Superhighway was the Japanese started their work, and now he could not do anything. Let me tell you in a nutshell, it was really, really hard. I went back to the house, but this time I was doing well. I used to participate in these women groups of going and visiting the parents. We used to call them Kamweredo. So that time I was doing with a clean heart because it was a Saturday outing. But this time, I could not even go, and here a lady is calling me, Penny, I want you to come and talk to my parents' place, and please, you take care of your fare. I could not afford, and they could not understand. And this is the time I sat down and texted a few of my friends, like 5 of them. I told them, anybody who wants me to go to their place and talk, I'll be going, but at a fee. And this is where it started. That's where my emceeing started. So I thought people would back off, but they would say, yeah, give me her number, we'll talk with her. So I could tell them, how much is the fare? Just pay for me the fare, and then I could go. That's how I started, and here I am today. What I did, I used to travel, I was living well with my family, but I said that life has to go on. And I said, shame behind me. I was not embarrassed that I was flying, now I could not fly. I was driving, I could not drive again. I said, I have to restart. And this is the time I remembered I had this talent that God has given me of talking. But that time I was doing so well, it was not a talent. I could not see, I could not think about it. And that's where my emceeing started. Today, I'm a professional MC. I am doing any kind of function, from the smallest, from a birthday to you name it. I can do it. And that's how I started. And God bless you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Global perspective, adversity, but I want to bring the third part, which is networking. It's very important for you to be part of a network, and I've learned this big time in an international business network here in Kenya called BNI, Business Network International. Now, in that network, of course, there's so many, now moving on to the idea of networking, there's so many ideas that can come up. I met a gentleman who spoke to me and I said, wow, what an idea, I've never heard it before. This gentleman tells me, well, you know, money, when you take 1,000 shilling note, it's just paper. It's just that you and I, we agreed legal tender that we use it. But is it possible for us to come up with a new kind of money that will not depreciate in value, but that will constantly be designed to increase in value? And I was like, aha. And then, by the way, you don't have to actually touch it. It's internet money. And I thought, this is new. This is new. Many questions we've had about so many things happening in the country, all these business ideas, and then later on money is taken away from your pocket. But you're talking about new money? Well, that was interesting. So ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for this gentleman called Mr. Raymond Kaptich, who's going to talk about Bitcoins.
As he has rightly mentioned, I'm here to talk about Bitcoin. By the way, in Kiswahili, it's called Bitswa. Bitswa. Bitcoin is the first universally acceptable digital currency. We've all been using Bitcoins. I believe all of us have a smart card for either Nakumat or Tuskys. The smart points you get are digital currency. All of us, most of us are on the Safaricom network. The Bonga points you get are digital currency. The biggest challenge with digital currency has been you cannot take your Nakumat points and go and shop with them in Tuskys or Carrefour. Bitcoin is the first digital currency that is acceptable worldwide. I had something that everything has a past, a present, and a future. Money has a past, a present, and future. The past of money is barter trade, is cowrie shells, is salt and spices, is gold and silver coins. What is the present day money? It's the notes and the coins that we hold dearly to our wallets or our purses. What is the future of money? Digital currency, which is already Bitcoin. There's a book I'll ask all of you to read or to download. It's called The Seventh Disruption. Let me just put it on the board. It's written by someone called Thomas McMurray, The Seventh Disruption. Now, the seventh disruption looks at 7 major disruptions that have happened since the 60s. The first is the platform we are in today, was the television. The first major disruption was the television. And then it was followed by the internet. That is the second disruption. The third disruption was email. The fourth disruption was e-commerce. And the fifth one is what we all have in our pockets, a mobile phone. The sixth one is social media. And guess what? The last one is digital currency. So those who saw those trends, did they profit from them? Yes, they did. So I was glad to be invited to the Untapped Business Opportunities, because once you understand Bitcoin, it is very similar to 9 years ago when M-Pesa was starting. And even before then, Safaricom was rolling out its network. A few people were approached to become dealers, and most of us said no. And then a few years later, M-Pesa agency was rolling out. You were being asked for 5,000 shillings, 100,000, maybe 400,000, and we all said no. Because you could not relate how people will be moving money on the mobile phone. You know, the fifth disruption. And those who did, all those M-Pesa agents, where are they today? They are making tons of money. All those people, the Mobicom, the Cheche, all those people who, you know, sold SIM cards, every time you and I load airtime, do they make money? They do. Every time you send M-Pesa or receive via an agency, do they make money? They do. So digital currency is here, and you can choose to bury your head in the sand, or you can be ahead of the train. The release of Bitcoins has been happening from the year 2009. The first 4 years, 2010, 11, 12, and up to mid of 2013, it was releasing 50 Bitcoins every 10 minutes. From 2013, 14, 15, and up to July 2016, it was releasing 25 Bitcoins every 10 minutes. And then from July 10th this year, for the next 4 years, right now, as we speak, there is a release of 12.5 Bitcoins every 10 minutes. Now, how can you get these Bitcoins? Through 3 platforms. Number one, you can run a business. If this very good hotel is yours, you can tell the cashiers to accept Bitcoins as a form of payment, and you will be collecting Bitcoins. The second platform is to run something called a Bitcoin exchange, very similar to a Forex bureau. Forex bureaus make money buying and selling currencies, you know, the shillings, the dollars, the euros. A Bitcoin exchange makes money buying and selling Bitcoins. Do we have such exchanges in the country? Yes, we do. There is one called BitPesa. They've been in business in Kenya from the year 2013. It's a British company. They are the only domiciled platform right now in Kenya where you can buy Bitcoins from. The third and the easiest platform to acquire bitcoins is a process called mining. Bitcoins are released over the internet. So very much like all of us, we have WhatsApp on our phones. The first thing you needed to do to use WhatsApp was to download WhatsApp. For you to mine bitcoins, all you need is to have the right application to do that, which you can download for free online. However, you can also buy the very latest. Have people been doing that? Yes. The likes of Bill Gates, $50 million. Richard Branson, $30 million. The New York Stock Exchange, $70 million. As we speak, as of January this year, a total investment of $1.1 billion had already gone. So I'll talk more about this in another forum, of course, but allow me to be a good guest and return the mic to Johnston. Thank you so much.
Round of applause to Mr. Raymond. You know, somebody told me, your greatest enemy is not the devil. Your greatest enemy is not the devil. Your greatest enemy is your ignorance. Is your ignorance. Now, ladies and gentlemen, it's important for us to get down now to realize what is in this place we call home, our motherland, Kenya, from a research perspective. So that now, as you sit down, you begin to see, aha, these are the places, these are the opportunities, this is the landscape as it is indeed. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for this gentleman who works with the Kenya National Chamber of Commerce and Industry, works in the Research, Business Development and Policy Department. He's a gentleman we've worked together for quite some time, loaded in terms of research, facts, and figures. Mr. Kasim Were. A round of applause for him.
I do research. My upbringing has been funded by the government of Kenya, and I'm happy to give back to the government of Kenya, because it paid millions and millions of shillings for us to go to school. So I'm happy that at least I got a chance to share with the people about what is there and what is the potential. Everybody would want to take a control of their destiny. And the destiny you have is the potential you have within yourself. I was telling Mwakazi that when some of us were growing up, and I lost both dad and mom, I thought the world has come to an end. And there was fees to pay at the university and all that. And I remember having gone to Mumia Sugar Company, this company that is having problems. And one of the managers looked at me and told me, yeah, you look strong enough. I think I can put you in the fertilizer section. So I was told, you know the 50 kg fertilizer? You put your back and then it falls on your back. And then you move it to the next lorry. And we did that, and I finished campus. Interestingly, God didn't leave me. I got a job at International Livestock Research Institute, and by the time I was going back to graduate, I was a manager. So God has every God's timing. And I was also sharing with him that recently, I got a scholarship and I was very excited. I went to the office and everybody in the office was very excited. They made a party for me and they told me, young man, just travel. Everything will be well. We will make all the documentations because the time frame given was just 17 days. So I didn't have time to tender my official resignation. I didn't have time to do the rest of the things, admin things. But the boss told me, just proceed. Everything will be well. When I got there, 2 months the lane, what I got was a letter that we note with concern that you have absented yourself from duty. And with that, we request that you return all the documents that you have, and your employment has terminated with due from today. So since I had some money, I took a flight quickly to come and really check the faces. Are these the people I know or the people I don't know? So back to my presentation. Sometimes life can be so challenging, and you get to a point in which you cannot even trust the one who stays next to you. And these are the people you cut the cake, celebrated with it together, and thought, okay, I think this thing is going to be a good thing, and since it's a nice thing, I'm going to be a great person in this country, and that happens. So trust your instincts. That's the point I was driving at. And do not say die. Before you write to your boss, dear boss, I quit. Me, I didn't get a chance to write I quit. They quitted me. You have to think out of the box. Think through the process you want to do. And that's what we call research. Everybody, please write down this website that I want to give you. www.trademap.org. When you're at home, it's www.trademap.org. When you're at home, this can be a place where you can be able to play games of research. Some people walk up to the office and they ask me, Kasim, I have this product, I don't know where to go and sell it. But you have it on your palm. Just go there, write country Kenya, write the name of the product you want and ask it, where can I take this product? And it will give you the demand areas where it's demanded. Or write Kenya versus the rest of the world. Then it tells you where your product is being demanded and then you get it. Trademap.org. It's an ITC platform which gives data on where the products go on world basis. So for you to be able to come up with that business idea, play with some of these platforms so that you can be able to sniff and build upon it. We're also talking about Steve Jobs. He was working out of his parents' garage building the future of computing. Now everybody has a microchip with himself. Think about the potential that you have and search for that perfect niche that you can be able to preach to the rest of the people. There are certain aspects that I want to impart in you that you need to consider as a person by the time you are conceptualizing those ideas, moving away from your comfort zone. You remember the first speaker who was here, the lady. Actually, life moves you completely from your comfort zone. And the moment you move out of your comfort zone, the brain has 14 billion cells. These 14 billion cells start working now. And you could see how the ideas are, you can never feel them. Even if you read, you can never feel the 14 billion cells pockets that you have. So nobody should tell you if you read so much, you'll get mad. No. Some of us, when we left this country, used to sleep for 3 hours. But it was enough. So coming out of your comfort zone is the most important thing that you need to be able to work on. And staying on the date, on the recent development, and I thank Makazi for the session we have had today. Stay in touch with what is happening. Because if you stay in touch, then the business ideas are born. Then, I wouldn't want to be employed at 39. I don't want to be a chief executive. I don't want to be those things they call what? I will go to those ones. I'll go to business. I've already begun my farm. I have dairy animals. I have my greenhouses there. And I want to move to the next level of not being employed by the time I'll be 40. Some things hold you back. You ask yourself, do I have enough cash in the bank? If you find that you have expenses that are outstripping what you earn and you can be able to survive without that monthly salary, then you're good to go. It is up to you to decide on what you want. And the opportunities are always there. There is a flight that leaves Nairobi every day to Somali, Hargeisa, and the crops are transported by road to Port Beira. And we have this mirror from here. These guys love chewing these things, and they chew them so much. Their foodstuffs and all that, they all go to the other place. So the untapped potentials are there. If they don't want to see you, make sure that they see you. And Bwana Makazi has said, build a global business network. The social networking for the 21st century, I've put you in a pictorial view. Everything is available for you. Then, where I come from, read, read, read. Chamber of Commerce offers you an opportunity to get referrals. At this point in time, all the development partners you want to get out there, they always ask for me to do a background search on your business. If they want to bring business in Kenya, they always come and ask me, where is this feasible? Get an opportunity. If you have a business, register as a member of the Chamber of Commerce. When the train is switched off and you remain behind, for me, if they send to me communication and they ask me, do a background search about a particular firm, mine is to go to my database and check, are you a member of the chamber? Yes. Then what do I write? Thank you very much, and may God bless you.
I want to be a corporate. I don't just want to admire people. One day, I also want to be admired.
How can East African companies strengthen our position by trading as a block?